Imagine scrubbing floors, washing windows, and then cleaning for several more hours. At the end of the day, you receive $200, and half of this money goes towards groceries for your family. But that $100 that once stretched a week or two now disappears in days. For Veronique Valdez, a high school student living in Las Vegas, Nevada, this is a weekly predicament. Her mom cleans houses for a living, and she often helps as well. In their eyes, food isn't just priced in dollars. It's priced in hours of labor, and lately the hours never stretch far enough. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reports that overall food prices have risen by more than 25% since 2020. And while inflation has slowed, wages haven't kept up for many families. For Valdez, she comes from a separated family where money's always been tight.
I grew up not being able to get, a lot of things. It was either choosing between eating food or having either groceries or a sweet little treat. And sometimes I didn't always get the food that was necessary. Sometimes I had to go a little hungry because we just couldn't afford it for that day. I was temporarily homeless, living in a car with my father.
Today, Valdez is a senior in high school and is looking forward to college. She's a member of the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Nevada, a nonprofit that provides a safe space for kids and teens in between school and home. The organization is a national initiative that provides educational support, extracurricular activities, mentorship, and more. For Valdez, it's what kept her on track despite all of the ups and downs happening at home.
I didn't get the experience of having a mother a lot because she was always working. She was always struggling to pay for the rent, pay for the food. And it affected me a lot mentally, seeing how much my mother had to work to provide for me. It did leave a lot on my conscience. I felt very guilty. I was raised to never ask for anything. Never, if I saw a cute toy or something shiny, I would just have to observe and walk away because I knew asking would also hurt my mother because she knew she couldn't give me the things that I wanted.
According to the Census Bureau, nearly 37 million Americans lived in poverty in 2023. About 1 in 7 households were food insecure, meaning they lacked reliable access to affordable, nutritious food. For Valdez and her mom, the rise in grocery bills has led to a lot of worry and uncertainty.
We'll go to the store, right? The total is $35 for a few things that we needed. And generally we needed a lot more, but we just couldn't afford it because those $35 cost me over 2 hours of hard cleaning and work. And it's that's kind of how we view things. Every time we go to the store or everything, it's okay, how many hours of work do I have to go to make up this money? And the number just keeps getting higher and higher. And it's been so dreadful. We have to cut back on a lot of expenses. For example, I've been needing clothing for a good minute. And we've been unable to because it's becoming so expensive to just get the essential things that we needed.
And their story reflects what's happening across the country. An expert on this issue is Jean-Martin Bauer, Director of Food Security and Nutrition Analysis at the United Nations World Food Program. He's also the author of the book, The New Breadline: Hunger and Hope in the 21st Century.
About 18 million households in the U.S. suffer from food insecurity. I hasten to add that food insecurity measured by USDA in the U.S. is a very different phenomenon to what we measure internationally, but it still means that people are consuming less food, they're eating less preferred foods, and they don't know where their next meal is coming from. And that's a problem that's getting worse in the US right now. I'd like to highlight the fact that food security is very dynamic. It changes from year to year. It changes according to the geography you're in, according to the social group you're in. It's a problem that needs to be understood, tracked, talked about. It's also a very uncomfortable problem. And maybe that's why it's so difficult to tackle it head on. It's uncomfortable because it's about inequalities, it's about injustice, it's about disparities that break along racial lines.
The drivers behind this problem aren't new. Prices for everything have climbed and stayed high, while pandemic-era safety nets and other resources have been pulled back.
Those organizations like food banks need to be able to do is cater for the increased demand. They are at the front line. That's the place people go to first when they're in trouble. And the food banks, but also all the other components of the safety nets we have in this country, they need to be strengthened, we need to boost them rather than curtail them at a time of high inflation.
For instance, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, remains the country's largest nutrition assistance program. Yet these benefits haven't kept up with inflation. Last year, according to the Department of Agriculture, more than 41 million Americans, or 12% of the country, received SNAP benefits each month.
There's a fear that the safety net is being pulled back or could be pulled back in the future. The 18 million households in the U.S. that suffer from food insecurity might need more assistance. We need to make sure that these programs, again, upgrade the transfers, the resources, the support they provide to families in need. And that's, again, keeping up with inflation is the basic thing that SNAP should be doing right now. But then you have an impact on those families that are suffering from food insecurity right now. It's a traumatic experience. It's something that impacts families, not just in the moment where they experience food insecurity, but for over the long term. There is an impact of the stress you experience when you go through food security. It's not just the hunger you feel. It's the prolonged stress. It's not good for children. It's not good for the individuals that live through it.
This prolonged worry around food and where the next meal will come from is something that Valdez is all too familiar with. For her, the Boys and Girls Club of Southern Nevada was a supportive safety net that she and her mom could fall back on.
My mom had no one to lean on. She didn't know who to lean on, and it was a little difficult. But like I said, thanks to the organization, I was given a lot of resources and a lot of experiences and a lot of support that me and my mom really needed.
For Valdez and her mother, food insecurity means years of sacrifice and worry. For Bauer, it's a national and global challenge that threatens stability itself.
There's also an impact on the communities that are exposed to hunger. Hunger is a threat to social cohesion, put simply. That means neighbors getting along. It means us being able to live as people who trust each other. Hunger is food is an essential need. It's something we all need every day, multiple times a day. We need to eat, and when you don't get that, it undermines the very fabric of society. An essential promise of a functional society is that people's basic needs are satisfied. Food, water, shelter. If you threaten those, all bets are off.
With millions struggling to put food on the table, the question is whether we'll strengthen current safety nets or allow one of our most basic needs to slip further out of reach. Join us for part 2 of this story next week. To find out more about this topic and our guests, Veronique Valdez and Jean-Martin Bauer, head to viewpointsradio.org. This segment was written by our executive producer, Amira Zaveri. Our studio manager is Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson. This segment is sponsored by Capital One. Banking with Capital One helps you keep more money in your wallet with no fees or minimums on checking accounts and no overdraft fees. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.